Hey, what's going on, guys? Michael back again with Michael's Monday Market. How are we all doing? This is episode 6. So, thank you guys so much for tuning in. But boy, do we have an episode for you today because you guys know how I roll. I give you the facts no matter if it's good or bad. We do have some unsettling numbers, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. We're aiming for September. Let's start the intro and let's get started.
It's Michael's Monday Market.
Into it. Let's rip the band-aid off. We are 10% under from last year around this time. Okay. And what this means is there's not a lot of buyers and there's not a lot of buyers buying. Okay. Maybe people are really looking in the market, but they are not fully following through because they can't really afford it. All right. Especially in this Vegas market where it's so competitive, where it's a smaller market compared to others. I wouldn't say necessarily it's a smaller market, but we are seeing the depreciation of buyers. What does that mean to you guys? Right now, we are seeing a lack of affordability in the loan market. I was talking to some of my loan officer friends at our YPN meeting, and they were telling me that they're seeing a lot of people with debt to income ratios that far exceed the average of what they saw last year. This could be for, again, many reasons why, just because, their car payments are in the upwards of, $1,000 plus a month, right? That's insane when the average used to be around 500 to less. And 500 was a reach way back then. So when you guys are looking into these different ideas of why buyers aren't circulating, it's a lot of reasons. It's economy, it is affordability, and it's also the education of the certain buyer. Because if you guys are renting, you have a big car payment. For example, if you guys rent for $2,000 a month, okay, that's almost average here in Las Vegas, including utilities, including food, okay. So we're saying 2,000. And you have a car payment. Let's say you wanted to get a brand new car, you can't really afford it. You didn't have that down payment, so you have almost $700 car payment. That's $2,700 a month. And remember, this is not including your food, utilities, entertainment. God forbid something goes wrong with your car, you have to pay for those things. The money is being sucked dry from the buyer, and then they're stuck in a renting loophole. That's why we're not getting a lot of buyers right now. But why I say there's a light at the end of the tunnel is because we are expected to see those rates drop in September. And I'm telling you right now, if you can't afford this market right now, I would get in right now, because as soon as these rates drop, everybody who couldn't get a loan approval are going to get it now, and the competition is going to go up. So sellers, that's a good thing for you, because guess what? Your house value could go up. Not that it's worth more, it's because there's so much competition that buyers are willing to say, I will offer your home $450 even though you listed it at $430 or $420. They're willing to go up in price because, one, now they can afford it because of the interest rate drop, but also they can afford it now because of the way that all the competition's going on, the interest rates are dropping, they're more motivated, because right now a lot of the news is saying bad, 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 bad. And what does this do to your average consumer? They're going to take it to heart, they're not going to do anything with their money, and then they're going to redo their lease agreement. Okay? You guys are purposely kind of running into the wall and then expecting to get back up, and then you go back into the wall. Okay, so we also need to learn that redoing the lease agreement, and then paying a down payment and doing this and then getting a $1,000 a month car is probably not affordable if you really need to move in. Now, if you have time on your hands and you don't want to move in, that's all for you. Okay, you do whatever you'd like. All right, I'm not here to force you. I'm just here to give you a market update. Okay, but my biggest thing too is I don't want you guys to go into a market that you guys are not comfortable with, because this one is the prime example of what's called an unstable or questionable market. Okay, because right now we are also seeing people who cannot afford their homes foreclosing, and that is the last thing that we need, is a big red rush of foreclosures, because that is a very scary thing. But it's because these interest rates are so insane that some people are having that $3,000 a month payment for a $400,000 home, plus car payments, plus having to pay for utilities, plus having to, pay for their everyday expenses. So again, this market really reflects on, one, interest rates, two, the education of the buyer, the seller, and the renter, and it also reflects on how the current economy is doing. Because if you guys are self-employed, if you guys run your own business, you are taking a hit. But now let's just jump straight into the median price. I think, guys, right now is, MLS and Redfin are kind of saying different numbers. We are looking at MLS is telling me that it's 45 to 490, and then that Redfin is outright telling me it's 440,000 for the median. It's slightly up, slightly down. I do think we are stabilizing though in the price. What does that mean for you guys? That means our inventory is very plentiful right now. We're hitting over 7,600 properties. We have over 4 months of inventory. What does this mean for you guys right now? Again, buyers, if you can afford it, get in right now, right before these interest rates drop, because these homes will fly off the market as soon as the rates drop. Now, is it predictable that the rates are dropped? I would say 50-50 right now. It's up to the feds on what they're going to do. There shouldn't be a reason why in September we at least don't get a little point drop, okay? At least hitting us into the lower sixes. At least hitting that ballpark range of maybe 6.2, 6.3, maybe 6. We don't know yet. It's up to the feds, but all the numbers are telling us why not, okay? So the inflation right now is down. Usually that is what the Fed uses to measure if interest rates should go up, interest rates should go down. It's all about circulation of money. So up to you guys on if you guys want to jump into the market. I say do it right now because you will regret it. If you're looking at a home and you really like this home, okay, call your agent, go look at the home, talk to your loan officer, talk to your CPA agent. 100% I recommend talking to a CPA agent just because they'll tell you how to financially succeed and how to financially get there. It was kind of a groundbreaker for me when I spoke to one because it really helped me kind of analyze where I should be at. It helped me move some pieces around like a chessboard just so that I knew I only had success, after a couple of days, months, where I can just move around things and afford this, and get better quality for you guys. And plus, too, a little disclaimer, this is the last time in this little, scene right here. I will be moving, so next week on Michael's Monday Market, it will be a different background. We're going to do a whole little walkthrough of the studio, and yeah, so let's get right back into it now. Investors, this is for you. Why are we seeing this market kind of flicker right now? The rates are up. Home prices are now kind of stabling out. What does this mean for you, my investors? Honestly, it depends on what you're trying to get into. Flipping market, get in. I know if you're doing a flip, 100% I think it's worth it. If you guys are trying to do a investment property to rent, I would hold off, just because remember, your rent is supposed to cover the mortgage of the home. If your mortgage is $3,000 and you're only renting 22, 23, depending on the size of the home, of course it's all dependent on, you're not going to get that mortgage payment covered for through the the rent payment. So it's up to you guys, in my opinion, on that one, just because I don't think right now it's the best time to buy a rental property. I do think it's the best time to get some flips. I do think it's a great time to possibly look into some land. I am saying this even though I'm a Vegas realtor. Cedar is looking very, very plausible for extreme growth. And I'm telling you right now, come back to me in 10 years. Remember this video. I'm never deleting this video. Never deleting the account. In 10 years, Cedar City and that St. George area are going to be the next Vegas when it comes to growth, land, just because everybody's moving up that way. Okay, so make sure you kind of look into that if you're looking into land, because the Vegas land right now is very expensive to get into, and there's a lot of people who just take up that land, and now the little 4-acre lot is worth millions and millions of dollars. That's not investable if you're in that median income area. So I think the biggest thing right now for you, my investors, is looking into possible flips, looking into just land. Right now, I think is the best time to hold your money and get into the market once those rates drop. You've probably said the word refinance about 100 times this video. What in the world does that actually mean? Okay, refinancing in layman's terms is grabbing a loan you have and replacing it with a brand new one, okay? So, for example, you can do a refinance when the rates drop. For example, you buy a home at 6.3%, rates drop to 5.8, you want to refinance because you cannot handle that monthly payment. What you do, you refinance, you can get a better loan, better monthly payment. Another example which is pretty common in the homes that have high equity, is they actually pull equity and get a brand new loan for it, and they use it to pay off debts, maybe they want to do a big expense like a kitchen remodel or a bathroom remodel. And the last example is kind of when you have a first home, you use your FHA, and then you wanted to switch it to conventional. Right? Those are the reasons why you would use a refinance. But the bottom line is it's just replacing your old loan with a new one. And it's very common in the world of high interest rates. And when they slightly drop, it could mean, a little amount of points could mean almost $500 off your monthly payment. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Did you guys notice something? We didn't have a sponsor today, but that's all right. I didn't even reach out to someone. I've been so busy. But listen, my thing is to you guys, if you're a small business owner watching today's video, I want to thank you again for being a small business in the United States of America. It is a very tough thing, especially in Las Vegas. I like to say, if you're a small business in Las Vegas, it's because you are the best of the best of the best. It is very hard to compete in this Vegas business market. And for you guys to even be still above water, I want to congratulate you guys for doing just an awesome job. I've always grown up in the small business area, and I could see the very down times, but I've also seen the ups. So again, if you guys would like to sponsor today's video or any other video, just let me know. Send me an email. We can put you in the video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next week. New area, new studio. We'll check it out. Bye, guys.